Hi, it's Julie Farmer from www.forgetmenot.publishmystories, writing my business memoirs. I want to finish this series of videos within my memoirs about bullying in the workplace with how I survived, because you will survive bullying, but the decision has to be yours. You've got to make the choice that you're not going to let these bullies win. So how did I do it? It was a long process. It really was. It took me a long time to figure out what it is that I was going to do. One of the first things that I did, and I think this is most important for most people, is I forgave myself. I know it sounds really counterintuitive that you forgive yourself because somebody is bullying you. But I forgave myself because I allowed that person to infect my very soul. I allowed them to live in my head when they weren't physically there. I allowed them to tell me what to do. Now, I'm a strong person, or at least I've always thought I was a strong person, and that I was able to cope with anything. But when you've got 6, 7, 8 people having to go at you all the time, it just wears you down. So I forgave myself for allowing that to happen, for me not setting my boundaries early enough, for me allowing people to cross my boundaries. It doesn't happen now. And when I see it starting to happen, I take that massive step backwards and I reaffirm my boundaries and say what I will and will not do. Because people, no matter what happens, are going to try and bully you. Because intrinsically, they want to get their own way. They want to tell you what to do. But now I have my boundaries clearly set out in my mind of what it is I will and I won't do. I mentioned earlier that one of my goals was to have a clear seat on my settee every morning so I could sit down and have a cup of coffee. That continued in my bullying, but I started to expand that. Instead of just a clear seat on the sofa, it was the whole sofa. Then it was the living room. Then it was the living room and the kitchen. So I increased my living environment, the areas that I could control, until they became nice, and that I would walk into my house and go, sanctuary, I like being here. I also started to write a journal. And this was really odd because I'd never really written a diary as a child, but I wrote a journal, and it was literally 10 minutes every day while I was drinking my coffee. I sat down at the table and I wrote. Now, sometimes I actually didn't have anything to say, and I literally wrote in my diary, I have nothing to say. I am boring. I have nothing to say. But after a while of just continuing to write, things started to come out. I started to write about the events of the previous day, my thoughts on those events, and how if it happened again, I would change my reactions. As time went on, I would sit down and I'd write in my journal straight away. This is what happened, and this is what I've done. And then my mind started to make a little bit of a shift. I then started to make plans for my future. And it really helped set things in my mind. Because effectively what I was doing, I was telling myself what had happened and getting an answer, a resolution to what was going on. When I was made redundant, the bullying stopped. However, it didn't stop in my mind. I still had those same feelings, those same attitudes, and that lack of self-confidence. Now, to the outside world, it looked like I was the most confident person in the world because I'd now set up my business and I was now going on a new adventure. But I still had that self-doubt. I'm not going to say here that my self-doubt has gone, because it hasn't. Every now and again it raises its head. But I have to look back at what it is that I've done, what it is that I've achieved, and how I coped with the darkest sphere of my life. And it was horrible. But I managed to get through it, and I survived, and I've become stronger for it. And this is why when I do my teaching, I'm able to talk from personal experience. It's not something I get on my soapbox and generally tell the world about, But if you have been bullied, there is light at the end of the tunnel and you can survive it. But you've got to find yourself, that inner person that you were before this started, and that person that you want to be. And it takes courage. So find the courage, forgive yourself, find that courage and move forward. Because when you do, you will be a stronger and better person for it. The bully, they're still going to be a bully. They are still going to have that same attitude they've had all along, because as far as they're concerned, they haven't done anything wrong. But you as an individual, the only person that you can control is yourself. The only thoughts and feelings that you can control are the ones that you give yourself. So forgive yourself, find your way out of it. And it could be that you change jobs, you change departments. You sit down and you speak to your HR department. You talk to your boss, to the person who's bullying you, and tell them, why are you doing this? It could be that you actually don't want to have that conversation with the person who's bullying you because you know what? They're not worth anything. They're not worth your time. But you in yourself have got to find that path, because nobody can give it for you. You've got to find it. And it starts really with forgiving yourself and then moving forward and just finding the joy. One of the other things I started to do was once a week, I phoned a friend. Just for a 5-10 minute chat. Hi, how are you? Just thought I'd touch base. And I wouldn't talk about me. I'd ask about them, how they're doing, what's going on in their lives. Because they had successful lives and they were enjoying their lives. And they had lots of fun things to tell me. And it reminded me that I used to be that type of person as well. And they would then ask me. And I wouldn't tell them about the fact that I was being bullied. I'd tell them about my journaling. I'd tell them that I'd been into the garden. I'd started my garden again. Or I was about to cook something. Or I was going to do some paintings. I started doing some painting as well. So I would tell them about the things I'm looking forward to, not the things that are happening at work. Because they didn't want to hear that. What they want to hear is fun, happy things. And I wanted to tell them about my fun, happy things because I didn't want to live in that whole sphere of being bullied. I didn't want my existence to be, oh, there's Julie, the person who gets bullied. Because the bullies, they're not there. They were just in my head. They did not pay rent in my head, but they were there long after they'd left the room. So why should I allow that? And this was all the start of the process of me forgiving myself and moving forward. Now, I'm going to tell you, it took a long time. It took about 18 months till I became the person that I am now. The person that isn't uptight. The person that doesn't think if anybody's going to ask me a question, they're going to attack me. And it will take you time. But you will get over it. You just need to find yourself. And it's those really small, tiny, tiny steps. And they're the steps that you will find for yourself. For me, it was forgiving myself, journaling, and trying to teach myself to paint and writing. I've now got a massive passion for writing, and I love doing my creative writing, and I put a lot of effort and energy into that. And reconnecting with my friends and my family. Okay, that's it for today. And the close of my 31-day challenge. I've got a wrap-up video I'll do tomorrow. But if you are going through this bullying, please, please remember that you can come out of it, and you'll come out of it a much better, stronger person. Don't let them live in your mind. Don't let them win. Find yourself. You can do it, and forgive yourself. All right, that's Julie Farmer from www.forgetmenot.publishmystories. If you're going to be writing your memoirs, subscribe to the channel as I'll be releasing one video a week going forward. All right, take care. Bye-bye.